Plug us in.
Okay.
Are we going? Hey, you guys, it's David at Valley and Beyond, and today we're reading again from Letting Go. And I'm doing this because I love the book, but I also love the message that's in the book that I think is, has a potential to be so helpful to so many people. And Maya, our new friend Maya, came by, and she was here at noon, and I said, "Well, just sit in." And so here she is. She's going to just sit with us while we read, and Maya, I think, has a great understanding of a lot of what we're going to share. So I'm going to get right at it. We're on page 47 in Letting Go, David Hawkins. And if you haven't got the book yet, there's a link. You can order it, and it'll arrive at your door. I think you might even be able to run down and get it at Chapters or Fairs Fair. Maybe they might have, might be a couple of used copies around. But this is a book people hang on to, so maybe not. We'll see. Call them. They'll tell you at Fairs Fair if they have it. Or just order it from the link, and Amazon will deliver it to your door. So we're reading still in chapter 3, and it's called The Anatomy of Emotions, and the subtitle is Enhancing Positive Emotions. So we've talked, if you listened to us yesterday and the previous days, we talked about some of the healing the past and dealing with emotions as they come up, and the technique. Um, Enhancing Positive Emotions says, the corollary to letting go of negative feelings is to stop resisting the positive ones. Okay. Everything in the universe has its opposite. Therefore, in the mind, every negative feeling has its counterpart between smallness and greatness, whether we are constantly aware of its existence at any given moment or not. So he's saying that the duality of life exists whether we're aware of it or not. A good and very illuminating exercise is to sit down and look at the feeling that is directly opposite the negative one that we are experiencing and begin to let go resisting it. Oh, so he's suggesting we let go of resisting, if we're feeling fearful, maybe let go of resisting courage. Um, let's say, for instance, that a friend's birthday is coming up and we're feeling resentful and stingy. Imagine that. Therefore, we just can't seem to get out to shop for a present, and the day is getting closer. The exact opposite feelings are those of forgiveness and generosity. Oh, I see. And we just start looking for the feeling of forgiveness within ourselves and stop resisting it. As we keep letting go of our resistance to being a forgiving person, it is often surprising that it will come up with a surge. We will begin to recognize that part of our nature has always been willing and wanting to forgive, but we didn't dare chance it. We thought we might appear foolish. We thought we were punishing the other person by holding the resentment. But we've actually been suppressing love. In the beginning, we may not consciously feel this specifically about our friend, but we will begin to notice that we do have this aspect to our personality. Um, as we keep surrendering our resistance to love, we will notice that within ourselves there is something that wants to express itself through sharing and giving, letting the past go and burying the hatchet. There is a desire to make a friendly gesture. We want to heal the separation, to repair the wound, to make good the wrong, to express gratitude, and to take a chance on being take a chance on being thought a fool. The purpose of this exercise is to locate within ourselves that which can only be described as greatness. Greatness is the courage to overcome obstacles. It is the willingness to move to a higher level of love. It is the acceptance of others' humanness and having compassion for their suffering, but putting ourselves in their shoes. One out of the forgiveness of others comes self-forgiveness and relief of guilt. Imagine. The real payoff we get is when we let go of our negativity and choose to be loving. We are the ones who benefit. We are the ones who gain from the real payoff. With this increased awareness of who we really are comes the progressive invulnerability of pain. The progressive vulnerability to pain. Okay. Once we compassionately accept our own humanness and that of others, we are no longer subject to humiliation, for true humility is a part of greatness. Out of the recognition of who we really are comes the desire to seek that which is uplifting. Out of it arises the new meaning and context for life. When that inner emptiness, due to lack of self-worth, is replaced with true self-love, self-respect, and esteem, we no longer have to seek it in the world, for that source of happiness is within ourselves. We just talked about that, didn't we? And that source of happiness is within ourselves. It dawns on us that cannot be supplied by the world anywhere. It cannot be supplied by the world anyway. No amount of riches can compensate for the inner feeling of poverty. We all know of many multimillionaires who try to compensate for their inner sense of hollowness and lack of inner worth. Once we have contacted this inner self, this inner greatness, this inner completion and contentment and true sense of happiness, we have transcended the world. The world is now a place to enjoy. We are no longer run by it. We are no longer at the effect of it. When we utilize this technique of relinquishing the negativity and surrendering resistance to the positive, sooner or later we come into a sudden, comprehensive awareness of our true dimension. Once this has been experienced, it will never be forgotten. The world will never intimidate us again, as it once did. There will be continued compliance with the ways of the world out of sheer habit, but the inner driveness, the inner vulnerability, and the inner doubt is now gone. Outwardly, the behavior may appear the same. Outwardly, our behavior may appear the same, but inwardly, the causes for it are now truly different. The end result of the conscious handling of emotions is invulnerability and geez, I don't know how I can say that word. You know that word? P-I-M.
It's a big one.
It is a big one, isn't it? So the handling of emotions is invulnerability and imperturbability. Wow.
I'll Google it.
It's a big one. I'll come back to that. Wow. Forgive me that my vocabulary is not as big as Dr. Hawkins. But it's a real honor for me to be reading this to you anyway. Our inner nature is now bulletproof. We are able to go through life with balance and grace. And even if we can't pronounce the words, right? We can still have balance and grace. So, chapter 4. I'm going to read just a few pages into chapter 4, just to get started into it. Maybe I'll just read down to here. We're going to start here. Chapter 4 is apathy and depression. So, he's basically going to start at the bottom of the scale and work his way up through the scale and to talk to us about all of the things all the way up to, in chapter 12 we get to love. So we're going to go through, pride, we're going to go through anger, we're going to go through desire, we're going to go through fear, we're going to work our way up through grief, and apathy and depression. It's quite a long chapter, so bear with us. This helps for us to see this and understand the depths of this emotion, and so that if we happen to spend time there, we know where we are, or if we're with other folks that are there, we know how to help them to experience it. Not necessarily to avoid it or get away from it, but how to experience it. And so apathy is the belief I can't. It is the feeling that we cannot do anything about our situation and that no one else can help. It is hopelessness and helplessness. It is associated with such thoughts as, who cares? What's the use? It's boring. Why bother? I can't win anyway. This is the role exhibited by Eeyore. Eeyore is the glum character in Winnie the Pooh cartoons who says, oh well, won't do any good anyway. discouragement, defeat, impossible, too hard, all alone, give up, isolated, estranged, withdrawn, cut off, desolate, depressed, depleted, unfulfilling, pessimistic, careless, humorless, meaningless, absurd, pointless, helpless, failure, too tired, despair, confused, forgetful, fatalistic, too late, too old, too young, mechanic? Mechanical, okay. Oh, I see, yeah. Doomed. Oh, you're reading English, won't you?
Yes.
Doomed. Negative, forlorn, useless, lost, senseless, bleak, blasé. The biological purpose of apathy is to summon aid, but part of the feeling is that no help is possible. Much of the world's population is functioning on the level of apathy. For them, there's no hope that they will be able to meet their basic needs, nor will help be forthcoming from elsewhere. The average person is often apathetic in a number of areas in life, really, but only periodically faces overwhelming apathy about their whole life situation. Apathy indicates a lack of life energy and is close to death. This was observed during the World War II Blitz of London. Infants were removed to nurseries in remote, safe sections of England where their physical, nutritional, and medical needs were well attended. However, the infants developed apathy and began to fail. They lost their appetites, and the death rate was high. It was discovered that apathy resulted from a lack of nurturing and emotional closeness to a mothering figure. It was the emotional state and not a physical one. Without love and affection, they lost the will to live. Wow. In our country, we see depressed economic areas where the entire local population goes into apathy, where people from such areas appear on television news, and is often with such comments as, when the welfare check runs out, I guess we'll just face starvation. There's no hope for us. Feelings of apathy about the letting go of feelings of apathy about the letting go technique itself may appear as resistance. These may take the form of attitudes and thoughts such as, it won't work anyway, what's the difference, I'm not ready for this yet, I can't feel, I'm too busy, I'm tired of letting go, I'm too overwhelmed, I forget, or I forgot, I'm too depressed, I'm too sleepy. The way out of apathy is to remind ourselves of our intention, which is to get higher and freer, to become more effective and happy, and to let go of the resistance to the technique itself. And I think that's all I'm going to read today. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a short day today, but we're well into chapter 4, and hopefully you're following along, and you can go back in YouTube and read or listen to the previous 4 or 5 days to kind of catch up to where we're at. And love it if you subscribe to our YouTube. Also, I want to remind you that we have meditation here on Monday nights. I call it Meditation Mondays. And so we're here in this space at 6:30 on Mondays. Drop by and meditate with us. And also, we'd love it if maybe you want one of our stools, and we have all this stuff that help you create a meditation stool. Aren't they comfortable? They are, right? Yeah, nice. So Maya's amazing. She's on a. I think you've been on this search for awakening and for community that's and we're all about supporting community and helping community connect through the interviews we're doing, and so you've come to the right place. Maya in Nepalese means love. And so she says this woman is love, and we're all love, and we were just talking that sometimes people are looking for love, and love can't be gotten, it can only be given. I think
It's the lesson for today.
It's the lesson for today, and because we are love. Okay, you guys. That being said, we love you. And thanks for tuning in, and talk to you soon. Cheers. Bye.